Today, we're going to look at something really fascinating. It's basically a playbook for the future, how a country can strategically build its entire economy around artificial intelligence.
So you have to ask, how does a country actually pull that off? How do you go from a more traditional economy to a global tech player? Well, Oman is giving us a real-time case study with some super ambitious plans, so let's just dive right in.
Look, any huge national project has to start with a big, clear goal. For Oman, that's Vision 2040. Think of it as the national master plan, and it's the real driving force behind this massive push into all things digital and AI.
Now, Oman's tackling this from two different angles at the same time, which is pretty smart. On one hand, they're getting their own house in order by totally overhauling the government. And on the other hand, they're building this external-facing launchpad to pull in innovators from all over the world. Because, you can't build a high-tech hub on a shaky foundation.
So let's start with that first part, the internal blueprint. Because before you can invite the world in, you have to lay a really solid digital foundation at home.
And this right here is the key. The government created what's called a National Change Management Framework. Honestly, the best way to think of it is like a brand new, unified operating system for every single government ministry. The whole point is to get everyone speaking the same language and standardize how they all go digital.
So what does this new operating system actually do? Well, it really boils down to three things. First, it unifies everybody. All the agencies get a common language and a shared vision. Second, it standardizes the whole process. They get shared tools, shared templates, and the same ways of measuring success. And finally, it all serves to accelerate the move to e-services, which makes the government way more efficient and cuts down on waste.
Okay, so while the government's internal engine is getting a serious upgrade, let's look at that second part of the strategy, creating an innovation engine that faces the rest of the world.
And they are absolutely putting their money where their mouth is. We're talking about an initial investment of 100 million Omani Rials. And that's just for phase 1 of this new Seeb AI-designated zone. That is a huge signal of just how serious they are.
So how do you actually get the world's best and brightest to pack their bags and come to you? Well, you roll out the red carpet. Oman is offering some pretty big incentives, like tax and customs exemptions under free zone laws, a super streamlined one-stop shop for getting permits, and of course, access to cutting-edge infrastructure.
Now, a project this massive needs really clear leadership, right? Otherwise, it's chaos. So they've broken down the roles very clearly. The Ministry of Technology, or MTCIT, is the technical partner. They handle all the tech stuff and the global tenders. Then you have OPAS, which is kind of the referee. They handle all the rules and regulations. And finally, a private partner, Afouq Investment, is the master planner, the developer, the ones actually building and promoting the zone. It's a classic public-private partnership where everyone knows exactly what they're supposed to do.
So with all these pieces starting to fall into place, you've got the internal reforms happening and these external incentives being offered, the rest of the world is really starting to take notice. Let's talk about Oman's global pitch and what this could mean for its place on the world stage.
This quote from their official project documents just says it all. The goal is to position the Sultanate of Oman as a preferred destination for AI and tech startups across the region and the world. You really can't get much more bold or clear than that.
So if there's one thing to take away from all this, it's that Oman is being incredibly methodical. They're building their AI ecosystem from the inside out, fixing their own government processes while creating this super attractive hub for global talent. And that two-pronged strategy leaves us with a really big question for the future. Are we watching the rise of the Middle East's next AI powerhouse?